It's just on.
Well, I mean, like, Hi guys. If you're anything like me, you've been in constant contact with your family and your friends back home, and they keep asking you questions about what the city is like and what the people are like. And of course the first question is, what's the most surprising thing? And I keep making quips about the elevators here because the close and open buttons, they actually do something. And I don't know if it's the bureaucratic cynicism I've had in me since I was born, but I was almost always certain that they were just there to make you feel better about the panicking for waiting something to happen in 5 seconds because we're too impatient for this. But they actually do that. But moreover, the people use them politely and appropriately. And that's what's even more surprising, is that people here actually use them correctly. And I don't understand, because living on the East Coast, that just doesn't happen. You don't get in the elevator if you're too slow. But people always ask also, what's the most surprising thing? Or the most different thing, I should say. And the most different thing, I have a hard time answering every time. Because when somebody asks me what's different, all I can think of every single time is what's the same between us. And you find these people and you meet them, and you spend a day talking to the Malaysian girl and talking to her family and how she fights with her brother, and it all sounds the exact same. The first day I sat down and met Fahad, and I found out he goes to school in Korea, and we spent 20 minutes talking about our favorite Korean foods, even though neither of us are Korean. He's Bangladeshi. We spent 20 minutes talking about our favorite stews from Korea and when it's appropriate to eat them. And so when you start talking to these people, you find out that more and more is the same. Laughter is the same everywhere. Happiness, sadness, even contempt and anger are the same everywhere, and there's a reason they're called the universal emotions. It's because you see these people and you just look at their face and you know. And I think that's really important. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I've gotten out of this program so far, is that knowing versus feeling and actually believing that we're all the same. Not academically knowing that we're all human, but feeling and believing it. You talk to people who have never come to America, and maybe it's because I've never left the United States until this program, but you don't actually believe and feel it the way you do when you meet so many people like yourselves that are so similar to us. And perhaps I'm behind the bell curve, and I'm really learning some childish lesson that everybody else learned when they were 5, and I am just wrapping up this entire thing in some emotional thing that everybody else was like over when they were 10. But for me, this is really meaningful, because I've never experienced something where I find that everybody here is so relatable, and you find out that everything is basically the same except for some social niceties in between. And once you get over those social niceties, everything breaks down into just us, connecting with each other as we meet each other. And I think that's really important. So if you're going to ask me what's different, I'm going to tell you what's the same. And I just want you to know that meeting people like you is what gives the future for all of us, quote unquote, the hope. You meet people like each other, and you realize the world is going to be so much better with people like us, honestly, because we know each other and we realize that we are all the same. And that's meaningful. And I fully anticipate looking at this years down the line and seeing you people doing amazing things, even more amazing than you are doing now. And I firmly believe that you guys will go so far. Thank you.